So anytime that there is an establishment of justice, anytime that there is an establishment of truth, and there's an old way of doing things, and you have went through that ways for so long, and it hasn't progressed any fruit. Now, remember, Shaitan can tell you the truth about something and lie to you at the same time, because Shaitan knows your nature. Shaitan, remember, Iblis was there when Adam was created, so Shaitan knows the nature that Allah has put into him. So that's why Iblis said to Allah Ta'ala, I'm going to show you that he's unworthy of what you're giving him. But Allah turned around and said, you will not get the muta'. You will not get those pious, humble Muslims. You won't get them. But those who are braggadocious, those who are envious, those who have desires, and they allow their desires to become their illah, those you will be able to get, no problem, and you can have them. But Allah has protected those who are sincere. Brothers, I'm going to ask you brothers in the back to fill up the rows. Move forward, please. But Allah has protected the Muslim, the mu'min, the mutaqideen. Allah has protected them. But the requirement to be a mu'min or a mutaq is that you always have to stand on justice. And that you always have to speak a word to the right. You always have to speak the truth. Whether it is against you, for the rich, because you know some people, because they may come in the masjid, they drop $100,000, you be like, ooh, shoot, the brother dropped $100,000, then he go outside, you know, and he kick his wife in the stomach. And everybody turn their eyes. Everybody turn away. Well, he dropped $100,000, man. Maybe she did something. Maybe she called him short or something, you know. Maybe she said he wasn't good in the bed or something, so, you know, he got mad. So let's give the brother 73 excuses. No. No, it don't work like that. Where in the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam do we ever find that he was afraid to speak the truth? Remember in the seerah when somebody had stole, right? And they was going to cut his hand off. And somebody came to Rasulullah and said, look, you know, he ain't that bad, you know, tried to make an excuse for the brother, right? And the Prophet ﷺ said, I swear by the one who keeps my soul, even if this was Fatima and she stole, I would cut her hands off. You see, there is no, in Islam, in order to establish righteousness, some people have to be sacrificed. Because those who keep you from righteousness, they need to be sacrificed. Because they are holding you up. But at the same time, because they are trying to cause sedition or they are trying to cause confusion, you don't slow your program up in order to defeat them. Because if you are on righteousness or you are on the development of the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah will take care of them. This is a testimony of Imam. This is a testimony of what you fear. Do you fear in this life, or do you fear what you take forth with you? In conclusion, and when Allah revealed his glad tidings to the believers that he will bestow his favor upon them, the hypocrites asked, and what do we get, O Messenger of Allah? Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah said, Allah punished the hypocritical men and the hypocritical women. It is also said that this means Adam. Listen to this. Anytime that we are, listen, real talk. When we stood up and we said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, right? When we all, men or women, when we stood up and said that, at that particular time, the trigger was pulled, the covenant with Allah and his messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam was established. Point blank. You are in a covenant with Allah, and you are basically saying that you are going to be held accountable. We all are going to be held accountable with the Sharia of Allah's Quran, right? And the Sharia of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have all said that. There is no ambiguity in that. The only difference in that is the sincerity in our hearts. And Allah will deal with the rest. So now, in this tafsir of this ayah, and this is from Surah Azab 73. So Allah says, He revealed glad tidings to the believers, and He will bestow His favor upon them. The hypocrites at the time of Muhammad ﷺ asked, "O Muhammad, what do we get?" Allah says He's going to punish the hypocrite man and women. It is also said that this means Adam accepted the trust, so that Allah punished the hypocrites among the men and the women, the idolatrous men and the idolatrous women, because they rejected the trust, since they was in the loins of Adam when he accepted his trust. But Allah pardoned believing men and women who are true in faith in relation to any shortcomings regarding the bearing of this trust. And Allah is all forgiving. He forgives who repents from amongst the hypocrites with His mercy, because they are merciful towards the believers. So now, when we accept the trust, when we accept the covenant of Allah, and we break our trust, or we break our word, or we break our communal obligations with each other, right? We in a double whammy. Because Adam, our father Adam alayhi salatu salam, broke the trust. But since we was in the chromosomes or the genes of Adam at the time that he was created, we bore witness to the trust that our father Adam bore witness to. So anytime that we break the trust, that's a double thing on us. So anytime that we are hypocritical, anytime that we cause sedition amongst the believers, it's twice. May Allah Ta'ala save us from the punishment of the fire. May Allah Ta'ala forgive us all our shortcomings and our sins. Have mercy on our souls in this life and in the hereafter. May Allah Ta'ala find us worthy of His mercy. May Allah Ta'ala find us worthy of His shade. May Allah Ta'ala find us worthy of His forgiveness. May Allah Ta'ala find us worthy to be a part of the Ummah of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. May Allah truly save us from ourselves, the torment of the grave and the punishment of the fire. أقول هذا واستغفر الله وعليكم الحمد لله رب العالمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Ameen. Dear beloved Muslims, last week we also spoke about, establishing for this masjid SOP or standing operating procedures or, do's and don'ts. Because the human being needs do's and don'ts. You say, nah, man, we don't need no do's and don'ts. Yeah, we do. Because we don't do what the Quran tells us to do. So we need do's and don'ts. We need followers. And we got to be held accountable. One of the things about the Sahaba, they held each other accountable for their good, and they held each other accountable for their shortcomings. And then when somebody went straight out the park, they was held accountable. They was held accountable. Now, there's a hadith that we misinterpret. Most of us, some of us, maybe none of us. I don't know. May Allah guide my heart and my tongue. But there's a hadith that says, the concealment, talking about the concealment. Whoever conceals a Muslim, Allah will conceal his faults, Allah will conceal him on the Day of Judgment. Now, the reason why I say that some of us may have let's say some of us may have a misunderstanding of this, is because there's another hadith of Rasulullah ﷺ that says that when you see a wrong, you are obligated to change it with your hands. And if you can't change it with your hands, you are supposed to what? Speak out against it. And if you can't do that, you are supposed to disagree with it, at least in your heart. And the Holy Last Messenger said, and that is the weakest of faith. Now, subhanAllah, so that means, let's say, hypothetically, that most of us just disagree with things in our hearts. And socially and psychologically and theoretically, that is true. That statement is true. Because if we just didn't or defaulted to the last part, just disagreeing with things in our hearts, then less Muslims would suffer. Now, whoever conceals his Muslim brother's faults and weaknesses, Allah will conceal his faults, right? We all read this, we all know this. Whoever exposes his Muslim brother's faults, Allah will expose his faults. Now, but you know there's categories. And this is why I'm telling the brothers and the sisters, you have to start reading more. You have to start picking up books and other books. Don't even confine yourself to just Islamic books. Because if you get into the social sciences of things that these people have written, you can see the Quran all through their words. So there is categories to this, according to the ulama. This is not me. So the first one is covering these faults if it's good. The second one is covering these faults if it's bad. The third one, it's unknown if covering of these faults is either good or bad. And they go into the whole catechism of this, right? So now, listen to this. So in conclusion, if a person is confused as whether to conceal the Muslim or exposing him is the right thing to do, then covering his faults here is more or maybe not benefiting. Nonetheless, the person should follow up on this individual's affair and not neglect it. Reason being, later on, it might become clear that it wasn't worthy or that person wasn't worthy of you concealing his or her faults. So, let's break this down. We spoke about this last week. Now, you know, we got to laugh out of this, but I'm dead serious. If we know a sister is pistol whipping her husband, or a brother is beating up on his wife, and anybody knows this, you are obligated to come to the aid of another believer. Why would you allow a believer to be in harm's way because that's your sister or that's your brother? Whom do you owe your allegiance to? Allah or the brother or the sister? It goes on. Let's say we know a brother driving around here in a Ferrari and his wife always seems like she don't have no good clothes. Or children always seem tattered or hungry or whatever. And you see the situation. And you know, a lot of times when you covering somebody's fault, that's because you was hanging with them. Because somebody that you don't know, you would come and ask, yo man, what's up with sister so-and-so? What's up with brother so-and-so? You would come and ask. But if that's your boy, that's your partner, Especially if y'all was partners in the dunya before you came to Islam. Oh, you gonna hold on to that allegiance. And you say, well, Imam Raqeeb, how do you know that? Because, you know, I worked in the prisons, man, and I'm telling you, I know these stories backwards and forwards. And I've been Muslim around my people, and I'm not talking about just African Americans. I'm talking about immigrants too. And I don't mean to offend by using that word. But we will come and smile in each other's face, hug each other, say Salaam Alaikum with all the sincerity, and go right outside this door, backstab each other with backbiting, with all kind of foul and certain things. And we'll know that a sister is in harm's way or a brother is in harm's way, and we won't do nothing about it. Now, it's one thing to approach somebody and they refuse your help. Then it's not on you no more. It's not on you. According to Sharia, it's not on you. We are just supposed to speak a word to the right. And if a person comes to you, or a person is seeking help, then you stay by that person until they get the help that they need. Now, we all got TVs in our house, some 75 inches, 65, some of us maybe got a 40. Those are going by the wayside now. Nobody don't want a 40-inch no more. You gotta have some big, right? So you see these programs on TV, somebody's going through withdrawals, right? Because they was on some type of substance abuse, and their sponsor or the person that they trusted to help them, they sitting by them day and night while they going through all these sweats and withdrawals and fevers and everything. How many of us do that for each other? Now, I want to put it out there. Sisters and brothers. Sisters first. If you know any sister that is in danger of her life from her husband or her boyfriend, because some of us got those two and some of us got some girlfriends sitting on this floor. If anybody is in danger, sisters, come to the masjid and we will help you. Brothers, if you walk up on your sister and she's in a peculiar situation with another female, come to the masjid and you can instantly get a divorce. Until we stand up for what is right, Allah Ta'ala will never bless us to go forward. That's why we started off with the paradigm shift. Because you can be in a situation where you was doing something for 15, 20 years, and you thought it was right, because the language was right. But you made no progress. And whatever progress you had, the person that was around or leading was not right themselves, so Allah didn't allow you to go forward. But then when an opportunity is presented, that is something that you was doing before and something now that you are doing different, and you decide to go this way in righteousness, that is called a paradigm shift. And in that paradigm shift, people are going to get lost. And in that paradigm shift, jealousy is going to happen. Envy is going to happen. Desires is going to heighten. But what did the Prophet ﷺ say when he walked back into Mecca when he was destroying the idols? For surely truth have arrived, and falsehood should vanish. Falsehood by its very nature is bound to vanish. So we started off by saying that Allah Ta'ala holds us accountable, all of us, because we said, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. So we have the covenant with Allah. So our first loyalty lies with Allah and the Holy Last Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then our brothers. Now, so I don't be negligent, one of the things that they said in covering your brother's fault, let's say, for example, you've known this brother all your life, or a good part of your life. He comes to the masjid, he's praying, whatever, whatever. He may be a little tight on some falooks, on some money, right? And you walk in the store and you catch him in the lotto line. You know, some of y'all got lotto tickets in your cars. It's all right. After you pray, go tear him up. MashaAllah. If you had the winning ticket and you fall out the window, we understand. But if you catch the brother in the lotto line, tap him. Say, hi, everything all right? Don't let the brother go through buying the lotto ticket. And if he does, then keep that between you and him. If you have not known that brother to do something like that in the past, or that's not a consistent behavior of him,